So great news to start this video. The Wellness Champions book in audio is out. I'll tell you a funny story. So when we were in the studio recording, I had to record the introduction, the part that was really me introducing the book and, saying all my thank yous. And then Dami Busari, who read the book very animatedly, I must add, she came and she did her part and she's doing, and we shot it over a couple of days. Guess what? The producer actually looks at me and says, maybe Dami should read everything. I'm like, what kind of nonsense is that? Basically, he was like, this girl is reading the book better. Of course, she's a voiceover artist, but I wrote the book, so I insisted on reading the parts that I introduced the book at least. Anyways, just a beautiful story to let you know that the Wellness Champions book audio is out, and we have all the details of where you can get it linked down below. I'm so excited. So today, I don't know if you share the producer's sentiments or not, I will be reading from my book. I will be reading this, and just as I read, I'll kind of tell you the story, some behind the scenes stories about this beautiful book. Okay, so are you ready? I'll read two stories. I will talk about one play date, the play date that happened at Mrs. Dunbar's home, and then I'll talk about the encounter with Kene in Lagos Island Market. So if you're ready, let us dive in to the Wellness Champions book. Shalom everybody, welcome to the Save the Children YouTube channel. My name is Eziaha Bolaji Olojo, and I'm a health coach and the author of this ridiculously amazing book. Fun fact, when you have a book like a hard copy book, and you want to market it, I didn't know that people will typically open it to check. And as I'm watching them check, I'm like, wow, so if I wrote rubbish, that's how they'll just say, no, we're not buying. Everybody's like, wow, the paper quality is so good. The illustrations are so sharp. And I promise you, they really are, as you can see now. Fun fact too about the book, I wrote it in about 2 weeks. We're already planning the Save Our Children Global Wellness Revival. We're planning all the things, but I hadn't written the book. I kind of knew where I wanted to go. I had even started writing at some point, and I stopped for a long time. So I knew it in my head, but the writing finally took me 2 weeks. That was so amazing. But just imagine the beauty that came out of me in 2 focused weeks. We're really grateful to God. Really, really, this has been a beautiful journey. So I will start from chapter 5. Chapter 5 is called This is Better Than Ice Cream. And I will read a part of it, then I'll kind of tell a story behind it, because a lot of what I wrote in the Wellness Champions, maybe 85% happens in my home. Some of it was pure fiction, but a lot of it just happens in my home. So I basically almost invite you, literally what I did was to invite you into my home so that you can see what healthy eating and living looks like, even at really basic levels, because like you, I'm just a regular mom trying to just feed these children. My goodness, I feel like that's now my new full-time job, just trying to feed them, because my second son especially always says, Mommy, I'm hungry again. I'm like, gosh. Okay, enough talk. Let's read the book. Chapter 5. If there was ever any outdoor activity that the Bolaji Olojo boys looked forward to during the holidays, it was the play dates their mom and her circle of friends rotated among themselves. It was always so memorable for everyone, both the kids and adults. Today was no exception. It was about to go down at Mrs. Dunbar's residence, and the kids were all up for it. So basically, holiday, play dates, everybody's excited to gather in Mrs. Dunbar's house, and then the kids will go and play, and then Mrs. Dunbar and her friends, and I was part of Mrs. Dunbar's friends, will have conversations while the kids play. So the title of this particular chapter is "This is Better Than Ice Cream," and Mrs. Dunbar here decides that she is going to serve the children popsicles. And one of the children picks it, and first time she picks it and tastes it, she's like, wow, this is really, really nice. So let me read that part. Ah, those popsicles are so yummy. Auntie D, what's the special twist you added to make them so scrumptious? Cosy, Mrs. Blessing's 4-year-old asked. Did you even make them or did you buy them? She added before Mrs. Dunbar got the chance to respond. Now, fun fact here, I have a director in a group I lead, the Fruitful Leading Sisters. Her name is Blessing and she speaks big English. So that's why I made Mrs. Blessing's 4-year-old speak big English too. So Mrs. D laughed at the articulation of the 4-year-old, spoken like the daughter of Blessing indeed. Well, darling, I made them myself, thank you. And it's so scrumptious because inside these healthy and yummy treats, I have some dates, bananas, mangoes without the peel, strawberries and avocado. I don't remember if I added some honey or not to this batch, though, but yes, that's all. Then, of course, I popped them into my popsicle molds and into the freezer for my special babies, all of you, she said, spreading her arm in a half circle to cover all the kids present. So basically, Mrs. Dunbar puts a yummy, yummy popsicle together. And if you don't know what popsicles are, I'm happy to educate you. So it's almost like, you know how you have lollipop, but like a really big one, or like those ice creams, if you're like my age, a millennial, you know those ice creams that will come around in sticks and stick to the sticks. So with popsicles, they have molds. So you put them in like that mold, but after you've made the smoothie, like put really yummy fruits together. So Mrs. Dunbar had dates, banana, mangoes. You know how sweet this thing will be. You could also choose to add yogurt. She added strawberries, avocado for some creaminess. Put it and then freeze it. Once you pull it out of the mold, it sticks together. It's together, so it's really yummy. You taste it, it is super, super yummy. You can add honey, you can add yogurt. It's usually really nice. So go all out in your preparation of your own popsicles, and let's throw away ice cream because honestly, you don't need it. And when I say yogurt, please, I mean Greek yogurt. Yeah, so she says all of that. Something else, in fact, so a kid now says, this tastes yummier than ice cream, Auntie D. So yes, this is really yummy. If you take the time and just that, it doesn't even take that long. Just be very intentional. When kids are coming over to your place, don't just be quick to give them these drinks that have sugar. Kids don't need sugar. Kids need nutritious food. And if you just think a little bit, you're able to come up with those. So something else I want to pick out from Mrs. D's home is that she always let the kids play outside. So when kids come to your house, do your best to take them outside to play, especially when it's a play date, instead of them just watching TV, which is just wrong. Now, of course, there are indoor safe games, but there's something about outside, you guys. Just let them go outside, let them jump, let them run. You can even choose to take them to a park. Just run, jump, play. Kids love things like that. But there's also an added benefit. So Mrs. Dunbar also takes the time to educate them about Nature's 7 doctors. So Nature's 7 doctors are Dr. Fresh Air, Dr. Water, Dr. Sun, Dr. Laughter, Dr. Sleep, Dr. Exercise, and Dr. Food. Now, the beautiful thing about play dates in Mrs. Dunbar's house is that they literally all enjoy Nature's 7 doctors. But let me spotlight 3. Number 1, Dr. Fresh Air. When they go outside to play, they are enjoying fresh air, and fresh air is necessary. It's just beautiful. It helps first when you're breathing clean air. Just make sure you're not in a place that's polluted and all. So Dr. Fresh Air, right? Then there's Dr. Sun. Imagine the sun is out. They get to really enjoy the vitamin that you get from the sun. So you see Dr. Sun. And of course, there's Dr. Exercise. They jump, they run, they play, and they get to exercise their sweet bodies. By the time they finish with this play day, they are tired. When they just go home, they'll sleep. So when you have kids over in your home, try to make it a memorable experience for them. Not you take away the screen time, let them play outside, let them move their bodies, let them exercise, let them get as many as the 7 Nature's doctors as possible in your home. And please, for the love of all things holy and beautiful, do not give them those sugary drinks. Mrs. Dunbar gave them popsicles, she gave them pancakes. You can give them real food. Did you get? You don't have to give like those funny fries, ketchup, what's that other one? Sausages. You really don't have to. So I hope Mrs. Dunbar motivates you enough on this journey. The second part of this book that I want to spotlight is what happens in Lagos Island Market when I took my kids there. And yes, fun fact, I really did take my kids to Lagos Island Market. So chapter 7 is called Yay, the coolest and healthiest party pack. So I kind of set the story based on what happened in Lagos Island, Okeanri especially, when I took them there. However, there was no Kene. So Kene is purely fictional, but I took my kids to the market for real. We actually went to buy bento lunch boxes and I took them on the whole experience with me. You can even see pictures from there right now. But there was no Kene. I just wanted to bring in Kene and then share the story of party packs because women, a lot of moms go to Lagos Island to buy party packs for their children. And the beautiful thing is that in Lagos Island or any other market, there are many non-food options, usables, toys. So it doesn't have to be food. So when I see a party pack that is so full of junk, I'm like, this is so unfair. So let me read the conversation King David has with Kenneth. So with Kenneth and his mom, Mrs. Okafor. King David began, Mrs. Okafor, please, I want to share something with you and Kenneth. I read something in a book recently that talks about why people started to give party packs at their parties long ago. They did it because they wanted people to not only enjoy the party so much while they were there, but also remember how special the day was long after the party. King David paused and looked at Kenneth's mom before continuing. So when they gave their guests party packs or party favors, as the name was then, it was not always gifts they would eat and forget, like biscuits and chocolates. Instead, it was gifts that they could use for a long time and continue to remember the party and the celebrants with. Mrs. Okafor looked very intrigued, but Kenneth had a question with a puzzled look on his face. You can find out what Kenneth's question is when you get your copy of the Wellness Champions book and read it with your children. But I just really want to spotlight this thing about party packs. When you give a child a party pack and all we have sweet, biscuit, chocolates, that's drinks, sugary drinks, that's really not fair. Plus, you want to ask yourself, why do we give party packs? It's really like a memorabilia that allows them to remember the party and the celebrant long after it's gone. So you give them junk and they finish it in 2 seconds and they forget everything about you, but their body doesn't forget. But if you give them stuff that you more thoughtfully put together, you give a face cap here, a clipper here. And that's what King David says here. Like there was a party pack he had. They had puzzles, clipper, hair accessories for girls, books. I mean, it should be in every party pack right now. Honestly. So board games like chess, snake and ladder, and I have a video that sort of tells you about other gifts you can give the children. I'll link it down below. So the goal behind this, so I'm a health mindset coach, not just a health coach, and the goal behind this is just to encourage you to think differently. Just think differently about what we are giving in our party packs. Why are we giving gifts? To remember the children. Think, will my children be remembered after this party pack is gone? No, if it was full of junk, but if it was full of like really fun stuff, they'll remember it for a really long time. So, Nature's 7 Doctors, we talked about that. Giving healthier snacks when children come over to your home. And then, of course, healthier, yummier, more wellness dripping party packs, all in this book. Look, there's so much your kids can learn from reading this book. I promise you, not just your kids, but you. And I feel that when you do it together with your kids, you're going to be more equipped to stay on this journey, because sometimes you might be like, I don't know what to do, but this book will tell you what to do. Then it will give you the permission to do it. It's written in a language that your kids will understand, but you won't also find it babyish. Like, it's really great, even if I say so myself. Also, something I want to point out about party packs is that if you choose and insist that, hey, I still want to give something to eat, give the healthier stuff. So think of the 80-20 rule. 80% of your party pack can be usables and all the things that they can use, play with, and all that. They don't have to eat it. Then 20% can be stuff that they can eat. So if you're giving biscuit, for example, give the plain biscuits, plain crackers, not those ones that are full of sugar, but plain crackers, and any biscuit that has cream in the middle is a no. So just that 80-20 rule to make sure that, okay, there's something that they can eat too. And recently I got a party pack that actually had water. Like it had no drink, it had water. And I'm like, this is so powerful. And come to think about it, it's not even like the family really needs your food. Remember, it's not like they're hungry. It's not like that party pack you gave them. That's what they'll eat that night. It's a nice to have. So don't give them a nice to have that will hurt their health. I know you want better for these children. So this is just my encouragement to you to give better gifts. And when I was doing my course on gut health, one of the things my coach, Sharon Selby, who incidentally wrote the foreword for my book, The Wellness Champions book, she's Australia's leading allergy health coach. One of the things she said is when her kids have parties or have sleepovers or have friends come over, she just gives them water and she encourages it, like even at a children's party, give water. Now I know that sounds unconventional, but unconventional is not bad. Unconventional is different, and we are all made not to fit in with the crowd, but to be different and set apart as a preserved generation. So I want to encourage you to read this book with your children, have conversations around it, and take it a step further. Apply what you're learning, then get other people to be wellness champions too. I will end this by defining who a wellness champion is. So let's go. A wellness champion is a superhero for healthy eating. They're the cool kids who love yummy, nutritious food and make it look super fun. But what makes them even more awesome is that they help their friends discover the joy of eating healthy too. They do it by being super friendly and never bossy. They show everyone that being healthy is a cool adventure we can all enjoy together. So I say, let's raise wellness champions together. Will you come along this journey with me? Okay, thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to like, share, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Until then, please keep raising wellness champions. Please keep giving the gift of wellness and continue to enjoy the shalom, shalom of God, because that prayer of shalom contains all of the blessings and all of the prayers. Thank you. I have one of my directors in an organization I lead. I have a director in a group. Let them get as many of the 7 natures. Let them get as, and that's chapter 7. It says, yay, the coolest and healthiest party packs. Thank God. Come in and be quiet. There you go. There's no cut. I can't cut. It doesn't cut. Welcome. So, yeah, no. Thank God I don't get to drive. Oh yeah, babe, please take them. Bisola, okay, give me. Just drop it. Just drop it there. Okay, thank you. Enter and stay there. Okay. So chapter. We want. It's like a memorabilia. Hey, Jesus Christ! It's like a. It's like a memorabilia. So, it's like a memora. Okay, it's like something you remember. A memorabilia. Okay, it's like a. So it's kids party pack. It's really a kind of like a sign. What's the sign? Memorabilia. It's memorabilia now. It's memorabilia. 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 No, don't mommy me. And even let's even go back to Mrs. Dunbar's house. No, don't go back there. When I was doing my course on health mindset coaching and even gut health, one of the things my coach subscribe to the channel.